Hello everybody, big show today. Oh my goodness, more is coming and it's about to hit the next level. Trump is investigating, hear this guys, his team, Trump, Pete Hegseth, investigating Bill Gates, Microsoft for allegedly working with the CCP. We've literally got Pete Hegseth who has given us the entire details, guys, and it is bad. All these dang people, all these dang elitists, guys, I'm telling you, Trump's going after everybody. Also, Trump's new executive order for voting in federal elections has hit a next level where there will 100% be military personnel at every single voting station, ensuring that everybody that comes through is a citizen. I'm telling you guys, red wave is coming. We're going to see the GOP take 40, 50, maybe even 60 seats in the new election. And guys, there is a new hacker. This is really bad. Whenever something like this pops up on my channel, I make a point to do it because I want you to be safe. But a new hacker, I don't know where it's come from. The FBI released it today, is targeting seniors, is targeting their Social Security and taking a lot of their money. They've already stolen billions of dollars from our seniors, Social Security and whatnot. This is a new alert from the FBI. We're going to make sure for all our seniors that watch us, guys, you're taken care of with all the details of how they're trying to get at people. But they said this is next level and they're doing a really good job using AI to steal people's money, and we want to make sure you're protected. But again, guys, I'm telling you, Trump is sending in the cavalry right now. Right now, federal agents are already being deployed to Chicago as we speak. We had Secretary Noem come out and said we already have ongoing operations with ICE in Chicago. We are adding more as we speak resources to those operations. The mayor is planning to fight back, but he's going to lose. We're taking him to court. This is a federal immigration policy, and it doesn't matter that this is going into the states because it's from the federal level on protecting America, guys. Because I'm telling you, Pritzker already came out and said, hey, we're taking them to court. Trump said, come on, buddy, you are going to lose. Not only that, no exceptions. President Trump is shaking up the electoral voting system. I'm told you, everybody, big stuff is coming. President Trump is signing an executive order stating that in order to participate in the federal elections, in the electoral system, that states are required to participate with federal law enforcement to ensure that every person voting has voter ID and there will be no mail-in voting. No mail-in voting, no mail-in ballots, only if you are a military personnel or if you're in the hospital. People that are sick in the hospital, that's the only way. His executive order will be patrolling all voting stations, monitoring at the federal level with officers to ensure that only United States citizens are voting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is next level. We know that we made it too big to rig in 2024, and we know they're coming in 2026, but President Trump is doing everything humanly possible to make sure we have free and fair elections of only American citizens in the 2026 election, guys. I'm telling you, big stuff is coming. We also want to give you, again, guys, the update. The FBI is warning Americans and seniors about their Social Security and protecting their money. There is a sophisticated phantom hacker scam that has been draining billions from victims, especially seniors, tricking them into believing they are safeguarding their money from cyber criminals, but they are lying. We're going to give you the details of that in a moment. And again, I told you, the new investigation, no more corruptions. Pete Hegseth just announced an internal audit of Bill Gates. Bill Gates founded company Microsoft digital cloud system for being used by the Chinese nationals to hack the Department of Defense. We as the taxpayers gave Microsoft money to protect the Department of Defense. Microsoft hired Chinese nationals who literally went in and infiltrated our defense systems with our own tax dollars that they were being paid by, guys. All this breaking news today. So much is going on. But again, I told you guys, we are on it. We give you the breaking news every single day. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers. Y'all are the best. We appreciate you so much. I want to give some special love to those that are members of the channel, those that give a super chat donation. We're so thankful for your support. And remember, if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want to serve you every day with the top news. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, we've got a big show for you today. So much is going on, and I'm telling you, we are bringing so much details today, guys. This is big. We're in this Labor Day weekend, and it doesn't matter. They are dropping bombs right now with everything that's happening, people getting fired left and right, and we are bringing the facts. Let's go check this out. And I'll tell you this, y'all. I'm telling you, we are dropping so many facts right now. There's so many things that are happening, and I really want y'all to know that we're going to make sure you're taken care of. Joan Momoa, welcome to the family. Let's go. Y'all show Joan some love in the chat. The FBI has warned the seniors of the $1 billion Phantoms hacker scam that's coming out. We're going to show you this in a moment, y'all, but again, when we show you that we have literally allowed our own taxpayer dollars to fund the FBI, fund the CIA, fund the Department of Defense, and then our own taxpayer dollars were funding people that were literally hacking into our very own systems. You cannot make this up, what I'm about to show you. This is big stuff. Listen to our Director of the Department of Defense, Pete Hegseth, just announced what is going on, because we're gonna make sure that we keep America safe no matter what. We're gonna fire whoever we need to fire. Trump is behind it, and we are putting America first. Listen to this.
Last month, the Department of Defense was made aware of an Obama-Biden-era legacy program called Digital Escorts. For nearly a decade, Microsoft has used Chinese coders, remotely supervised by U.S. contractors, to support sensitive DoD cloud systems. The program was designed to comply with contracting rules, but it exposed the department to unacceptable risk. I mean, if you're thinking America first and common sense, this doesn't pass either of those tests. So I initiated an immediate review of this vulnerability, and I want to report our initial findings. So the use of Chinese nationals to service Department of Defense cloud environments, it's over. We've issued a formal letter of concern to Microsoft documenting this breach of trust, and we're requiring a third-party audit of Microsoft's digital escort program, including the code and the submissions by Chinese nationals. This audit will be free of charge for U.S. taxpayers.
Wow.
I'm also tasking the Department of Defense experts with a separate investigation of the digital escort program and the Chinese Microsoft employees that were involved in it. These investigations will help us determine the impact of this digital escort workaround. Did they put anything in the code that we didn't know about? We're going to find out. Additionally, all Department of Defense software vendors will identify and terminate any Chinese involvement in DoD systems. It blows my mind that I'm even saying these things in such common sense, that we ever allowed it to happen.
Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I'm telling you, it's Trump, it's common sense, it's just mind-blowing, y'all, that I'm showing you this stuff that we are finding out about our own systems, that we paid people that would literally allow our essential enemy, the CCP, or the #1 threat to the United States in economy, in war, in everything, to be in charge of systems within our own Defense Department. And now they've been fired because we have common sense, baby. We're back to the common sense America. And that's where even this, y'all. FBI warns the seniors of the $1 billion hacker scam. They're finding out all this stuff. And it's so mind-blowing that we literally have to expose this for what it is, that we allowed people to come in that weren't America first, and to actually say, you know, we're going to protect our seniors. And this is why I get, like, people, whenever they say, oh, how can you say that? Like, America first, this and this. Because when people's Social Security gets stolen, whenever people's Medicare and all this stuff gets, like, we haven't even got to this, guys. What we're going to show you today is so mind-blowing. This is why I love what I do, because we make sure that you know the truth, and we're going to make sure you're taken care of with all the breaking news. And also, I want to say, Gator Presley, thank you so much for the super chat. Say, go MAGA. I love it. Show Gator Presley some love in the chat. Listen to this. Wow.
That's why he's...
I told you guys, in Trump, what I'm about to show you next, I can't even believe I'm about to show you this on our channel. But the White House is moving forward with changing the name of the U.S. Department of Defense to the Department of War. Per the Wall Street Journal, the name was last used in 1947. Trump is saying we are not just about defense. We are about being proactive and being on the front side, protecting America. We're not going to be just looked at as on the defense side. We will secure America with the Golden Dome. This is beautiful, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm telling you, this dude is just shaking up everything that we are seeing across the board, and it's beautiful because it makes us have more of a fighting stance. And he literally posted this. You cannot make this up. This is such a Trump-esque type of post. Said the world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. I'm like, dang. Guys, look at this image I got for you on the screen, posted by Trump. We got the golden age that's happening. Trump's not holding back. The Democrats have no idea what to do, what's going on. And this is the thing, whether you like Trump or not, whether you believe in Trump or not, you're gonna partake of his wins because you're in America. And what you're about to see next is that every single person is jumping on board with what Trump is doing. And it's beautiful, guys. It's beautiful that we're going to see the golden age take place in America like never before. Watch this.
But it's okay. Democrats don't need to be happy. Trump is making them safer, wealthier, and healthier, whether they like it or not.
Let's go.
Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna joins me now. So great to see you, Congresswoman. So, it's really amazing. It seems like the only thing that really gets Democrats out of bed anymore is fighting for their own power. They don't ever seem to be interested in fighting to actually fix problems.
You're completely correct, Charlie. In fact, that's why President Trump won by such a big margin, especially in this last election cycle. To just go and showcase what we've been able to accomplish in just this election cycle alone. Look, President Trump just secured a win with some of the largest tax cuts in U.S. history. Not to mention, he's going to be capping prescription prices. And also, too, he's continuing to broker world peace, so much so that literally hundreds of monks have nominated him, and including world leaders, for the Nobel Peace Prize. So, look, I'm happy to be on his team, and it's unfortunate for the Democrats, but they need a complete rebrand.
Do you think that the Nobel Peace Prize Committee people will actually come around? Or at some point, I guess maybe they need him more than he needs them.
Most certainly, if the Nobel Peace Prize Committee knows what's good for them, they do the right thing and nominate him. But also, too, I think that Melania Trump might also have a nomination. I think that she's been very instrumental in discussions with Russia. And also, too, I think that she's going to be a key reason why we're able to broker peace with Ukraine.
I love that.
Let me tell you this. If you support Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize for everything he's doing, if you don't mind doing us a favor of hitting the thumbs up like button, I think it's a win-win. I think after he's already stopped like 6 wars already, he's working to broker the peace between Russia and Ukraine. He secured the border for the United States. I feel like that's Nobel Peace Prize worthy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
It could be the first joint couple to earn the Nobel Peace Prize. And then even better would be if they then turned it down. One of the things that, as you know, in politics, politicians don't ever like to actually do things because they're usually afraid of the blowback or the snapback from anything dramatic that they do. And we're watching this effort to deal with criminal aliens in this country. Democrats are praying that Trump and Republicans will end up paying a price for that. What do you hear from your constituents and the people you talk to about these ICE raids?
Look, my constituents support it fully, and I can tell you that I live in a community that's largely based on a tourism economy, and so they understand firsthand what happens, especially when you are hiring illegals and it's depressing the wages. But I just want to point out something that the Democrats are really twisting themselves into not trying to explain to some of their older Democrat voters how it is that both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have the same views and opinions on illegal immigration as President Trump does, yet somehow if Republicans do it or if Trump says it, it's somehow racist and xenophobic. So I think it's very clear that the Democrats lost on the illegal immigration and open border policies. The fact is that the new left that exists today wants open borders. They don't want a defined nation, but that's exactly why we continue to win.
So we've been watching as Gavin Newsom tries to cosplay as Trump and tries to kind of come off as this tough guy. First of all, is he succeeding at...
Let me tell you this. You know how horrible, I'm telling you, this is what I'm hearing. This guy is Gavin Newsom. Look at that. Let me go ahead right there. It has come out. Trump has called him out explicitly. He said, can you imagine being so stupid as to destroy one of the best areas in the United States by building low-income housing here? So remember the Palisades that burned in California? Remember how they just so happened it didn't have enough water? They didn't have enough water that was coming down, and Trump had to sign an executive order and force the military to go drain water from the north to allow it to come down? But then by that time, everything was already burned up. Well, guess what? Newsom has just said that he's going to unveil $101 million to build low-income Section 8 housing there in California, and that's the very same spot. Well, let me see. If you import people, allow immigrants to vote, kick out the people that paid the taxes and actually vote Republican, and then bring in people that live off of American taxpayers and don't contribute to society, and they're only living in the low-income housing that's subsidized, you're going to get more of a Democratic vote. And that's exactly what he's planning. And we called it on this channel that somebody behind the scenes allegedly said that they allowed this stuff to happen in California, allegedly because they wanted to kick out the people that were starting to vote Republican and bring in people that would continue to vote Democrat and basically give them everything for free. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because I'm telling you, this is so corrupt. Like, to me, it's common sense. These properties are worth so much money, and for they couldn't rebuild. They bought them at a discount, pennies on the dollar, and now Gavin Newsom is just putting pure low public housing. Like, are you kidding me? All this stuff we're exposing, guys. This is why I appreciate when we show you things on our show, because we bring context. We show you what's actually going on.
Sort of a macho man, and do you think he's the future of the Democrat Party?
I definitely think he's angling for a 2028 run against the president, which is why he keeps trying to swing up at the president. But the fact is that Gavin Newsom compared to President Trump, there is no comparison because Gavin Newsom, as far as his policy goes, is a complete loser. But what I will also tell you is that as of right now, from the Democrat Party's platform, they are soul searching. I just think that, unfortunately for Gavin Newsom, according to his own party, he's too male and he's too white, which again puts him probably as someone who will struggle to get that nomination from his own party.
What about his attempt to be all macho? Do you think he's succeeding at that?
I think it's cringy. I think, if you're going to be genuine, you want to actually talk to people about how to make this country better, do that, run on that platform. But the fact is that he's trying to get too much into the clickbait, social media influencer game. And as someone who knows that game quite well, and as someone who's now a politician, I will tell you that there's a certain time where you have to separate the two, and now's that time, Gavin.
Another thing that's kind of surprising to me is having watched Barack Obama's entire career. And, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, he was a rock star unlike anything we had ever seen up to that point. He's a shadow of himself now. I don't even know how much power he has within the Democratic Party.
again, there's been this big split within the Democrat Party in regards to their own ideological warfare. Look, Barack Obama, compared to some of the leftists today, would be considered a moderate in today's Democrat Party, in my opinion. But I also want to point out the fact that, you know, Barack Obama, after Joe Biden was elected, remember, they said that they were going to unite the country, and they actually, in turn, ended up weaponizing many federal agencies against good Americans, against Catholics, against people that simply wanted to do right and protect our Constitution. And so I will tell you that as far as Barack Obama legacy goes, it's completely been erased with this administration. We're going back to the basics as what really made this country great, and frankly, I'm here for it.
Guys, let me tell you this, that it's so crazy how Trump's 78 years old. So he's not a young buck. But it's crazy to think that even Trump resonates more with people of all generations than somebody who like is Obama, who is younger, AOC, and it's just mind-blowing because what I'm about to show you next, when you tell people we're gonna make it safe, you're gonna make more money, your investments accounts are gonna grow, you're gonna actually be able to raise your kids and without being worried about them being indoctrinated or illegals coming in and doing horrible crimes because nobody knows who they are, nobody knows where they came from, nobody's vetted them. Listen to this because I'm telling you, more is coming. Chicago is about to get it. Listen to this.
We've already had ongoing operations with ICE in Chicago and throughout Illinois and other states, making sure that we're upholding our laws. But we do intend to add more resources to those operations. I won't disclose the details because they are law enforcement and investigative folks that are on the ground there, and I want to make sure we keep their security our number one priority. But we will continue to go after the worst of the worst across the country, like President Trump has told us to do, focusing on those that are perpetuating murder and rape and trafficking of drugs and humans across our country, knowing that every single citizen deserves to be safe.
It deserves to be safe. You're an American citizen. You deserve to be safe. And you're right, everybody in the chat. Trump 79. I apologize about that. I'm sorry. He looks younger than what he is. He looks 78. You know what I'm saying? But I want to show you this too, guys, because I'm telling you, this is big stuff that's coming out. The FBI is warning seniors of a $1 billion phantom hacker scam. They're going through and saying that a lot of these people have been attacked from their Social Security. A lot of the people have been taxed. Any type of money that you've got, they've gone after it. And this is something, coming from the FBI. When I see things like this, there's always going to be scammers out there. But when it gets to the $1 billion level, this is where I want to let our people know. If you're a senior watching, let you know, like, be careful, especially when you're talking over the phone, who you give your information to, because we do not want you to be hurt. We want you to keep your hard-earned money. Said, according to the Justice Department, victims who believe they are protecting their assets often have their financial accounts wiped out. So when people are calling you, trying to say they're going to protect you and need you to give them their stuff over the phone, don't do it, everybody. Don't do it. Because this is getting huge. And that's, like I said, we're talking about $1 billion plus that they've already stolen from people. But this is the next big thing too, because again, so much is going on right now. We're gonna make sure that you are informed, because to me the biggest breaking news that we can ever deliver to you, everybody, is that making sure that we know exactly how to protect ourselves. What's going on in the elections? The FBI at the time that was involved, now Cash Patel Bongino is cleaning it up. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is big, big stuff. Listen to this.
A true hero of our movement. I'm so honored to do this. We just put it together at the last second. Michael Caputo now joins us from the War Room. Michael was one of the very, very, very first people into the MAGA movement, one of the very first people that had the vision to understand what Donald Trump could possibly do as president of the United States. And Michael, probably more than anybody, your life literally has been destroyed. Then the illness came up. Matt Taibbi has an incredible piece up in Racket News, an exclusive this morning. For some, Russiagate never ended. It's kind of your story, although I know it's more here. Just take it at the top and walk through. When we talk about the Russia hoax and Russiagate, it's not a victimless crime here. You are one of the top victims of this crime, of how it destroyed you and your family, sir.
Yes, sir. I mean, I think, thanks for having me on, Steve. The most important thing to take away from this piece in Racket News today is that they spied on the 2024 campaign. We're digging up evidence of the spying on the 2016 campaign. We're going to get to evidence of the spying on the 2020 campaign, but I can tell you it's living proof that they were spying on the 2024 campaign. As a campaign staffer in the policy department, the FBI had an open investigation on me. They had a Google user alert came to me in March of 2025, just several weeks ago, telling me that the FBI had just had a classified subpoena against my emails, my texts, everything that comes through Google, VoIP calls and things, and it is still open. It's still open now. I mean, in fact, I hired an attorney to find out more. And he said that the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. opened this investigation after my movie, the Ukraine hoax, came out and it named Hunter Biden and Joe Biden as taking money from Ukraine. In fact, I have the receipts of all of that. And I talked about it in the movie. And when they won, they went after me. And they opened a FBI federal criminal investigation, and it is still open. That's 4.5 years. And the reason why I've gone public with this is because I just want them to close it. I want them to just leave my family, my daughters, my wife alone. It's been, 9 years of this, and it damn near killed me, Steve. And it did kill people like Lee Avershaw, Paul Manafort's deputy in Ukraine. He died of cancer at the same time I had cancer. I was, many other people, Paul Manafort, the president, George Papadopoulos, Roger Stone, others, all these people who suffered far more than I did. I was always a witness. They kept trying to flip me into a subject and then a target, but I had a very good attorney and they were never able to do it. This whole thing was a hoax. The whole thing was complete fiction, and they could not turn the fiction into fact with me. They did it with others, with Papadopoulos and poor Carter Page. I've gotten to know all these people very well ever since this happened. Some of us, we call ourselves the remnants, the leftovers. Right now, I kind of feel like a cigar butt in the ashtray, and others do too. I believe that the president and Cash and Dan Bongino and Tulsi Gabbard, especially, all these guys are doing their level best. But you know what it is? We're finding out now it was bigger than we ever thought. It reached into places that we never knew. I am sure there are 1,000 people that did this.
I'm telling you guys, we're bringing some huge breaking news today. People have been scammed. People have lied. Our agencies have been compromised, and that's why we need Trump and his dream team so much. Stuff is happening across the board, attacking people. FBI warns seniors of this $1 billion phantom hacker scam. And that's why I want to, we're going to go into this part, guys, and I want to show you this because, again, it's been horrible for our seniors. People have been taken advantage of. And when it comes to making sure that we take care of American citizens our own, I am 100% down with it, guys. And look at this. So we have partnered with a one sponsor on our channel. We have one sponsor, guys, and their name is Chapter. Link is in the description. They help out seniors that are about to get on Medicare. They help out those, either you're on it when they have open enrollment towards the end of this year, we're going to be helping them out. But if you're about to get on it, they're helping people out with Medicare to save, I'm talking about so much money. They literally save seniors on average $1,100 per year, and they have saved plenty of people in our own community with tons of money. And the reason being is because of this. The United States files False Claims Act complaint against 3 national health insurance companies and 3 brokers alleging unlawful kickbacks and discrimination against disabled Americans. It doesn't get any worse than this, y'all. And that's why, again, too, we partner with these people, which go through, we talk to them, we trust them, they compare every single plan out there, and they make sure you're taken care of when it comes to your health insurance. Because, again, too, my own family experience has not been good with Medicare and making sure it was all good. So that's why we say go check them out, call them up. I promise you, if you're on Medicare or you're about to be on it, they're going to be able to help you out. The number 667-895-3015. These people are going to get you taken care of. And the reason is because right now, our systems with taking care of seniors, taking care of our veterans, they're not good, y'all. Trump is going in and his dream team is working to make things better. But until we get another, I say, 5 to 7 years of a Trump-esque administration, we're still going to be dealing with a lot of unnecessary regulation, too many plans. It's just too much. And that's why Chapter, you can either go online or you can call them. They usually say it's better if you call them. They take care of you when it comes to your Medicare plan. And we're going to make sure you're taken care of, chat. We're going to make sure you take care of everybody that watches this channel. That's why we have the number on the screen. And that's why we show you things like this, that anytime something's happening, trying to attack our seniors, trying to attack them when it comes to their Social Security, their money, we're going to make sure you know. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Della Cole, thank you so much for the support, being a member for 8 months. Said, Joel, we need a shirt like the one on your wall. Keep fighting. Love it. Let's go. Show Della Cole some love in the chat, because I'm telling you, it's worse than what we thought. Listen to this.
Well,
Yes.
I want to talk about
I
that,
have
because
to
you go from 16 to 20, because your revelation that, hey, they were still doing it in the 2024, and they're going to continue to do it until we expose it, hold them accountable, responsible accountability, and put them in jail. That you're 100% correct.
Put them in jail.
And walk me through that. Walk me through how big it is and what do we need to do to stop it.
Well, it's interesting, Steve, because the one thing Tybee didn't cover there is, I think, a real indication that this spying went on, and it was directed at the president's 2024 campaign. A week ago, a friend of mine who worked on the Ukraine hoax with me called me up, and he said, listen, your cameraman called me. He told me that the FBI was all over him. He was forced into interrogations 3 times, and he's really sorry. He wasn't allowed to tell you. The FBI said it was confidential. He'd go to jail if he told you. I said, look, 2021 was a very difficult time when they called my movie Russian funded a complete lie. And my friend said, no, this happened in 2024. They went after my cameraman, the poor guy with a young child, in May of 24, and they came at him 2 or 3 more times, I'm not sure. And Steve, they ghosted him when Joe Biden dropped out of the race. They were planning something with all of this Ukraine stuff in 2024, and it was taken away from them when Joe Biden kind of crapped the bed in the debate. Here's the thing, Steve. My investigation is still open. I know Cash and Dan and Tulsi are very, very involved in this. It's not just about Michael Caputo. There are dozens of Michael Caputos involved here. I think what they have to do is arrest people.
Yes.
Not just investigate people, arrest people. I think they will, too. You know, there's a lot of criticism for our national security leaders right now. If Donald Trump trusts them, I trust them. But all I'm asking for, Steve, right now is shut the investigation down. I can't get a mortgage. I can't get a global entry visa. God knows how else it's affecting my family. Please shut it down. Steve, how it's really affecting me right now is the Judicial Watch has filed 8 or 9 different FOIAs, and they've had to sue the FBI, the ODNI, and the Department of Justice on my behalf today. And the reason they have to do it is because the FBI left that investigation open so they don't have to respond to FOIA. And if the Trump administration is truly in charge of the FBI, shut that down. Give me my FOIA results and do it as soon as you can.
I want to take a minute and walk through your journey here. What happened to your family, what happened to your finances, what happened to your health. I don't think people even understand the very basics of how they tried to destroy you and came very close to doing it, sir.
Well, I've been kind of on the Trump team since I was his driver at the Republican convention in 1988. I've been involved with him off and on all along the way. Tried to get him to run for governor in New York. I tried to help him buy the Buffalo Bills. I took on Bon Jovi for him. And I was so honored to work in 2016 and then in 2020 to be involved as his Assistant Secretary of Health during COVID. But I was so stunned, and Tybee recounts this story. I was over in Moscow in March of 2017. This is actually the first time it's ever been mentioned publicly is here, and today's Tybee in this. I was over there with a leading Democrat trying to figure out how we could improve relations with Russia in the new Trump administration. While I was there, James Comey and Representative Speer and an Intel committee name-checked me, and my whole life changed. Not only were they accusing me of being a Russian spy, I was sitting outside the Kremlin when they did it. Like my advice to people who want to get into international relations, what I did, to do it. Get a passport, see the world. But the problem we have now is these insular people in America, especially the Democrats, who believe that the Russia hoax was the way to stop Donald Trump.
Yep.
Steve, they built this incredible fear of Russia. I'm married to a Ukrainian. I have my complaints about Russia, and I think Putin's a despot in many ways, but they created Russia here. I lived in Russia for 6 years. I was sent there by Bill Clinton to meddle in their elections in the 90s. I was there 6 years.
Wow.
I can tell you, we expected to be spied on in Russia. The spying here is more intense, and it feels worse because we're supposed to be a nation of freedom. After I became the Assistant Secretary of Health, that was a very stressful time, and I came down with throat cancer. It damn near killed me.
Wow.
Damn near killed.
I'm telling you, y'all, again, the stuff that we're dropping, the things that are coming out, nobody's holding back anymore. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, nobody's holding back anymore on calling out the lies in real time, baby. Hammer of Justice, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, this quickly became my favorite channel. I don't know how you go 7 days a week and do such a great job. Always thanks, man. Hey, appreciate you. A Hammer of Justice, we thank you so much for your support. Show them some love in the chat, as well as Ava Bernard. Thank you so much, Ava, for being faithful, supporting the channel. Y'all are so awesome. Thank you so much for your support. You're going to love this because, again, too, I told you, nobody's holding back anymore. This is calling the reporter out in real time. This thing is popping off on X, too.
So let's narrow it down then, because by CNN's count, when you look at 32 school shootings since 2020, in which you have 4 or more people who have been killed. So these are the larger school shootings. Only 3 of 32 of those shootings were committed by transgender shooters.
Yeah, forgive me if I don't go with CNN stats, okay? CNN has proven itself to be wholly inaccurate in all kinds of things for the last 10 years, perpetrators of the Russia hoax, and that we didn't have an open border. So please forgive me if I don't take your stats for granted.
All right, it's simple math. 2 of 32
No, it's
shootings.
not. It's distortions. You are distorting the facts. Let me be clear. In just a couple of years, we have seen 7 mass shootings involving people of transgender nature or who are confused in their gender. 7
I saw what
in
you
just
tweeted.
the last couple of years.
I see
That
your
is
list of 7.
inordinately high. So
I see your
please,
list of 7. 2 of them
I'm
are
going to stick. I'm going to see.
Sebastian and
I'm going to
Mr.
stick
Gorka.
with the facts and not not CNN's pseudo facts.
We can't stick with your facts because they're not accurate. In fact, in 2 of them, one of the ones you quoted,
let's talk about CNN's reputation for accuracy.
In one of the ones in which you posted, there was no evidence that he was trans.
Right.
In another, the individual was known within his family by male pronouns and used anti-LGBT
you have an agenda.
rhetoric.
I'm telling you guys, it's so crazy. They're calling them out. Nobody's holding back anymore. And I love it. To me, we need to hold them like nobody's business. We need to hold everybody accountable like nobody's business. And it is just about dang time because this has happened for too long. They lied about Russia. They lied about the Hunter Biden laptop. They lied about the Steele dossier. They tried to cover up for Hillary Clinton's emails. They tried to cover up for Biden's cognitive decline. I mean, I'm telling you, that why would you trust them if we constantly have caught them in lie after lie after lie? So whenever they give facts, figures, or whatnot, no. We don't believe you. We'll check our own numbers. And whatever our numbers say, that's what we'll go with. Because I'm telling you, everybody's getting caught. The waste, fraud, and the abuse, I love it. Like this right here gets my heart going. Because I feel like when people bust their butt, work hard, just like Trump's putting on their voter ID requirement for every single vote, making sure that things are fair. This is what you're about to see next is just more Trump being fair. Listen to this.
Welcome back. Senate DOJ Caucus Chair Joni Ernst is going after waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington. We haven't heard of that, have we? She demanding an audit of government officials caught pocketing unemployment benefits while still collecting their taxpayer-funded paychecks. The senator tallied up nearly $500,000 stolen by just 5 federal workers, double-dipping on the taxpayer dime during the COVID pandemic, including one who raked in over $130,000 while still on the job. Okay, I just have to say this is the government grifter edition of the Big Money Show. And what's interesting
Also known as the C Block.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'll come to you first, Charles. So what's interesting to me about this is that it's so low scale. You know what I mean? And a few pennies here, a few pennies there, and after a while, you know, like as a taxpayer, I'm mad at however much you're taking.
I'm mad, but we always say we're mad, but we haven't done anything about any of this, Jerry. And
you don't think DOJ was effective at all?
DOJ was effective, but, it's not just DOJ, right? Just, again, starting with the insider trading from elected members of Congress and the amounts of money they've made, being able to leverage the insider information that they've had. And all they have to do is say, yeah, we'll vote against it, and they never do. And it's just the whole system is so rigged and unfair. And I think the big problem, unfortunately, is bridges to nowhere work on a local level. Like, if you take a poll, I think I looked at, was it Pew or Gallup the other day, and the approval rating for Congress was like 9%. Like, it was the lowest out of all the institutions. But look at how many people get reelected. Right. That's like 90%. Right. So it's like, we hate the bastards except mine. And why not? Right. Because they brought us some crap home that created some fake jobs. It's just, so we're ultimately, we're part of the problem.
It's a tale as old as time.
It's a tale as old as time, but until we really are angry enough to throw all the bums out, this is what we get.
Well, this is just looking at what Joni Ernst is doing with this. I'm reading the Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration spends $562 million to detect unemployment fraud. They're spending $500 million to find all the money. But like, if you don't...
There's some fraud in that number you just made.
People want exactly.
Do you realize what number just came out last week?
Smarter or better. I think Ronald Reagan had it right, at least theoretically. If you don't shrink it, you have to shrink it. You have to make it smaller. You don't make it better, except if you make it smaller and it does less and it spends less of your money. You will never root it out if it keeps growing.
So that number was what, 530 some odd million to detect
just to find the fraud.
Here, fiscal year 2024, U.S. Government Accountability Office finds $162 billion in fraudulent claims, most of those coming from unemployment insurance. So you're spending $500 million to detect this fraud, and you can't, this is the GDP of small countries like Costa Rica and Guatemala that is happening every year. So to your point earlier, it's not just 100,000. The 100,000 here, the 30,000 there adds up to a really significant amount.
Now you're talking about real money. Yeah. But look, what's amazing to me about this is not really the amounts, it's how long it goes on for. These people do it for years and years, and nobody pays attention, and you're working at the Department of Labor and you're stealing from uninsurance. This is unconscionable to me, Dagan.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, how is it happening, y'all? It's happening when you have corrupt people that are in the system that don't care. They literally will do whatever they can to win votes, to allow corruption to take place. And that's why this is such big news, everybody. Voter ID must be a part of every single vote, no exceptions. I will be doing an executive order to that end. Also, no mail-in voting except for those that are very ill and far away military. Use paper ballots only. President DJT. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, it's common sense. It's such common sense, and yet half of the country, you would say, I would say more like a third of the country, fights against this. Says that it's against minorities. It's against black people because black people don't have an ID. And all this stuff in all the biggest blue states, don't have any type of mail-in ballots or whatnot, but yet those are the same states that give hundreds of billions of dollars to illegals in their states because of sanctuary city status and whatnot, and all it is fraud, waste, and abuse. And it's people gaming the system. And that's why I'm super happy when you hear about the next steps that they're taking to clean up and give us back our hard-earned money. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
So the number he just cited is largely related to the unemployment insurance fraud from COVID. So I appreciate a senator saying, oh, I've discovered this little bit of fraud in the federal government. But let's not forget, $900 billion went out the door in jobless benefits during COVID because they shut the economy down. There was $135 billion of that was fraud. 15% of the money that went out the door was fraudulent. And the vast majority of it will not get clawed back. The vast majority of the thieves and crooks and criminals and grifters who stole it will not be prosecuted because this year the 5-year statute of limitations runs out.
Wow.
It is an abomination that anybody in government didn't just scream to the high heavens, and they didn't do it for political reasons. Now, Biden's administration did extend the statute of limitations on, I know, the SBA fraud and the paycheck protection fraud, because that was $200 billion plus. However, this is money that we acted like that we have no financial problems as a nation. And it's just, I mean, I've seen some of the people they busted down in Florida because they were all driving around in Lamborghinis.
Yeah, they didn't make any, they didn't try to hide it, that's for sure.
No, Lambo loans. And some of it, the people who got busted most recently, it was last year, I think, for the jobless benefits fraud, they using Bitcoin and crypto to try and send the money abroad.
That's appalling. Listen, I mean.
So good for Joni Ernst, but we got bigger fish that need cooking.
I don't think this will be the last story about government fraud, for sure.
Well, and Joni, call us when you got something bigger, okay?
Guys, I'm telling you, like, it's just mind-blowing because, again, where does fraud come from? Where did it happen? Well, part of that is whenever it all given the illegals. Remember, 12 million on the low side. 20 million is what realistically came in over the past 4 years. They were given taxpayer benefits of free housing, cell phones, SNAP, food assistance, health insurance, all this stuff. So when you think about 20 million people coming in and how much money it costs just for one person, that's why, again, the fight is so strong on what Trump is trying to do in Chicago. And listen to this, because I told you, I show you kind of both sides and what's about to come in Chicago to clean up. And this is coming to every single major blue city in the United States. Listen to how they're trying to fight this when they're trying to harbor illegals, protect illegals, and giving them your hard-earned tax dollars. Listen to this.
We hope that they don't send any troops along with ICE. And if they do, they'll be in court pretty quickly because that is illegal. Posse Comitatus does not allow U.S. troops into U.S. cities to do, to fight crime, to be involved in law enforcement. That's not their job.
If they're doing federal immigration work, a judge might say, if they're protecting those federal agents, that's okay. I mean, you'll just fight that in court as long as you can.
Well, National Guard troops, any kind of troops on the streets of an American city don't belong unless there is an insurrection, unless there is truly an emergency. There is not.
You see that, guys? Again, they know what's coming. Trump knows what's coming, and he has said we want to be invited. But when you look at the crime and when you look at what's happening, It's like there's no other way. Like, what do you want to do? Everything else that they've tried hasn't worked. Google user, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said these crooks need to go to jail. No more two-tier justice system. Go get them, President Trump. 100%, baby. I love it. Show Google user some love in the chat, everybody, because this is big. Trump, remember, a lot of these people, they do the exact opposite of what Trump does. So if Trump's against crime, they're for crime. If Trump's against illegals, they're for illegals. If Trump's against unfair tariffs, they're for whatever tariffs as is, where the United States is completely getting ripped off. But right here, guys, the logic is so sound. It's so beautiful. We just want to show you everything that's going on, guys, because a lot is about to change. Listen to this.
Incredible turnaround of Washington, D.C. from one of America's most dangerous cities to what he now calls the safest city in the nation. And in classic Trump fashion, he pointed out the awkward reality for Democrats. They're defending crime instead of fighting it.
We are the party, the Republicans are the party that wants to stop crime. We're against crime. The Democrats like crime. I don't know why. I think crime will be the big subject of the midterms and will be the big subject of the next election. They called it a trap. This Democrat consultant, they said, he's put him in a trap again because these are all traps. You know, 80-20, but they're not 80-20. They're almost 100-0.
And just as the president predicted, the left is falling for it. As Politico noted this morning, on crime, Trump has Democrats right where he wants them. Case in point, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson repeatedly dodged Morning Joe's questions on whether an increased police presence would help out with violence in the Windy City. In the sense that policing is not the only thing you need. You also need prosecution and tough on crime policies and laws in cities across the country to actually keep people off the streets and from getting out if they commit a crime. But it seems like to me the Democrats and these mayors have gone so far off the deep end with the defund the police movement that they can't now come back to saying and admitting that actually not having police officers really has been detrimental.
Brandon Johnson in Chicago in particular, but Muriel Bowser in D.C. a little bit different, right? She has said we need to add, I think it's 300 police officers. She is asking and hoping for more recruits. And so, and that's why initially, even with her in D.C., it was like, we don't really love this, but it could help. And then she's had to deal with her constituents and gone on to a little bit to the left. But in general, it's like she knows that this can give them some breathing space in order to get some things calmed down. But in the meantime, you have Brandon Johnson. This guy's more recently has done better, but about 2 months ago, he had a 7% approval rating in all of Chicago.
7%.
Okay, and it's mostly a Democrat city. So that means your mom and maybe your aunt still like you, and that's it. What was so painful about the interview that Joe Scarborough did with him is that he's clearly trying to give him a lifeline. He's trying to lead the witness. He's like, don't you think that more police would help? And he's like, no, but don't you think? And even Brandon Johnson didn't want to take that because he thought that Joe Scarborough was trying to put him in a trap.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to have Democrats all across the country have to defend this. And that is one, on the merits, good. Let's have this debate. Let's figure out a way to get America's cities more safe. But also then on the politics. Karl Rove was on Newsroom today saying that if you go back, and Harold maybe could talk about this, that when Bill Clinton realized that the 1996 was going to be a bad election year, what did he do? Figured out a way to do the crime bill, add more cops, and get the federal government to pay for it. And he was able to win.
So Tyrus, one of the big
And one of the things I want to show you real quick, y'all, because this is just, again, when Trump last week, he canceled $4.9 billion in foreign aid. He's pushing for the D.C. death penalty. If you take someone's life in D.C., you're getting the death penalty. And then talk about these more pocket rescissions are coming. The government is so vast and it's so crazy and it's just like so complex. But what I love is that even whenever Congress is out taking their dang recess, instead of doing Trump's appointees, is out there taking a recess and not working on the budget that we're supposed to be passing in the next couple of weeks, or the dang government shuts down and we have to negotiate with the dang Democrats. Trump is continuing to put America first. You don't get more American than this. Let's not give almost $5 billion to somebody overseas, and let's keep it back here in America. That, I'm telling you, Is Trump winning on all the main issues? If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, again, it's just so beautiful that we continue to see America First policies, and you never felt this with Biden.
Problems Democrats have, besides defending crime, is that President Trump made a campaign promise to clean up D.C., and now other people in these cities are saying, why can't we do that in our city? Why are our leaders failing us? They combine it with policy and execution, which is resulting in results. I mean, there are thousands of arrests happening in D.C., so it's not just like they've said this and they hope people like it. It's actually actionable.
Well, you keep going to, I always try to look at the other side's perspective, and you try to figure out what is their argument, even when I made a little chart. You just, the pros and cons. There's no pros to their argument. We had 4 years of lawlessness in our big cities, to where they're emboldened, they're attracted, they form groups, they use Facebook to map out where they're going to go. So, and the police are underfunded, and they went through 4 years of hell. So the only reasonable way to fix this is to bring in extra help, which is in this case our military. And we've seen amazing results. Not just that they're there, but the presence is there. Now the guys, when they're in the house going, hey, which Walmart are we going to knock off? I don't know, man. There's soldiers everywhere. I'm not going out tonight. It's a deterrent, and it's working. And my argument is, since you try to figure out what is the profit, what is the benefit of speaking out against this? Whom is going to vote for you or support you or send you money in your campaign for saying I'm anti everything they're doing? So the best way to win this argument, there's only one way. What Mayor Johnson has to do is they like to do challenges. They always want to do bench press challenges. And here's a challenge for you. Switch with one of your constituents in these rough neighborhoods without your team. All you get is a little chest camera, and that's it. And you live in that apartment for 7 days with no staff, no bodyguards, nothing, and a small allowance, $100, and you figure it out for a week. Yeah. See how long and then when you come out of that, and if you can look that camera in the face, like, yeah, we don't need help in our cities, then maybe you could have an argument, and I could add that to the list.
But you have to add kids so that you have to send to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
To that scenario, because that's a huge problem.
And to play in parks and to walk down the street by themselves. And not to do what the governor of Illinois just did, which is to go to a place with bodyguards in the safest part of Chicago.
And film the water.
Ignoring it. Exactly.
Water crimes are not running out of order. That's
they are
where
not.
The crimes are happening.
So, Harold, it seems like politically, Democrats could disarm Republicans by working with the president on these issues and solve some crime in their cities, get an accomplishment, and then take away the accusation that Democrats are pro-crime. But at the DNC summer meeting where they're trying to start over, you have this woman who's a consultant saying that this is an issue that affects Americans, and simply it's just an issue that is a red herring, essentially, that Republicans are pouncing on for Democrats rather than reality.
Good to be back.
Jesse, this is not just a narrative or the vernacular. You have these Democratic mayors speaking out against the president. They're not willing to involve themselves in turning over illegal immigrants to ICE, for example, which are a big part of these arrests.
Wow.
And at the DNC, again, they're not willing to admit that they were wrong. And the mayor of D.C., to her credit now, has moderated a little bit on this, but she's actually the reason why the police department is short thousands of cops, and they're trying to pay $30,000 for bonuses, because she was part of this narrative in 2020 that defund the police was an option. It would make communities safer.
Well, over 90% of the black victims of shootings are black. I didn't say that correctly, but you get the point. This is something that Trump is saying, Black Lives Matter, and Democrats are saying, no, they don't. So he's trying to protect black lives, and he's going to win black votes because of this. It's the same thing with illegal immigration. He went out and tried to secure the border, and the Democratic Party thought Hispanics were going to recoil, and they didn't. They voted for Trump. And the same thing's happening here. Black people want safe neighborhoods. Hispanic Americans want secure borders. It's not that difficult for the Democrats to understand. You asked Harold Ford Jr. the right question. If you can't beat them, join them. Why don't they just join with the president to make sure the country is safe? It's not that complicated. They hold a losing hand, Katie, and it's killing them politically, and it's also killing black Americans. So do the right thing. The Democratic Party has to be more nationalist. They have to want to build ships. They have to want to build AI centers. They have to want to do what's right for the country. And If you have someone going after Jerome Powell because he's keeping rates high and people are locked out of homes and you can't have the American dream, why don't they jawbone Powell too? So he brings rates down so we can get this party going again. Everybody knows someone who's been pickpocketed, carjacked. Maybe it happened to them personally. And all these things have happened in the inner city. And if you go out and tell these people, crime's down, and throw a statistic in their face, well, I just got shot in the abdomen, and you're giving me a statistic? You're not taking me seriously. And we have to take everything the politicians say so seriously. You know, their work got broken into on January 6th. Oh, my God, we heard about it for 2 years. 0.1% of the population is trying to figure out what bathroom to go to. We have to hear about that nonstop. Redistricting was 3 weeks. No one even cares about that. All right, so we have to pay attention to your shenanigans, but people are getting shot in the leg. People are dying from fentanyl because the heroin highway comes right through Chicago, and they're saying, don't worry about it, and throwing numbers at you that they cooked because they're cooking the books. Trump's not laying a trap. He's just doing the right thing. Democrats should try that sometime.
Ooh, guys, I'm telling you, the stuff that is coming out is awesome. It's amazing. Sutton Bookhaven, let's go. Welcome to the family. Show Sutton Bookhaven some love in the chat, everybody. I'm telling you, more news that has come out today. Noam teases federal crime crackdowns in other cities, says we haven't taken anything off the table. This is what we voted for. And to me, this is what makes America the best, is what do we need to do to protect our own, protect our cities, protect our seniors, protect our kids. We're going to dang do it. And I love it because even when Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and says, you know what? Let's protect our kids at the school. Let's stop sending money overseas and let's use that money to put military personnel around all the schools so that no crazy person goes there and wants to do something stupid. This is what I love, is that, again, it's just common sense policies. I love it. And again, when you have the dream team that's around Trump, not afraid to do what needs to be done, that's when we start winning. This is what I love. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our supporters, all of our members. Guys, you are the best. We are so thankful for you all. What we're seeing right here, Trump is coming out and just completely revamping everything. I saw this quote, and I did want to show you this. Said, I used to think that Trump was great, but now seeing how the whole system was rigged against him, from every media outlet to the FBI and the CIA, I have to believe that he is the greatest of all time, baby. I love it. If you appreciate this, show some love in the chat. Want to give some love to our members, guys, to the subscribers. Remember, if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family so we can take care of you every day with the top news. Want to give some special love to Joan in Momoa, Gator Presley, Della Cole, Scott in Sac. Let's go. Said, love you guys. Disneyland is hot as heck here. Baby in line for the Pirates of the Caribbean. Ho ho, love you all. Trump 2028, baby. God bless you, Joe. God bless you, Scott. Show Scott some love in the chat, everybody. Hammer of Justice. Show some love to Hammer of Justice. Ava Bernard, thank you so much, Ava. Google user, Sutton Book. Show them some love in the chat. So much is going on. Like I said, everybody, there's just too much that we need to protect ourselves. We want to thank everybody that supports our channel, that supports in liking the videos, sharing our videos on X, on Facebook. Remember our sponsor today, Chapter. They're doing such a great job. They've already helped out so many people. I believe we've already helped out over, I think, 30 people on the channel with this. And it's beautiful because, again, too, why not? It's free. The number is 667-895-3015. Call them, tell them Joel sent you from TrueLife News, and they're going to take care of you all. We love you, appreciate you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.